Hi. We all remember Fuzz99, right? The person who was glad you asked. Yeah, so that person ended up going super viral, I think back in late 2022 for being a cringe final boss, and the commentary community was chosen as the Avengers to deal with a threat of this magnitude on the cringe scale, and we did. I mean, some videos on this person have over 1 million views, and ultimately this person was a lol cow for a little bit until people stopped caring about them. Also, I know the comments are gonna like eat me alive if I don't address this. I don't know what gender this person is anymore, and I'm pretty sure if I assume anything, Joe Biden will come to my door and cuff me, so I'm just gonna say they, them. Anyway, this person recently has kind of come back into the spotlight for a video they posted on YouTube talking about how apparently they were hate crimed and got fired from their job as a substitute school teacher. The video is titled "The Truth, a Hater Got Me Fired." So we're gonna take a look at this video today. The thumbnail says, "I was hate crimed and lost my job," and there's a broken heart emoji in the thumbnail, so you know shit's about to get real. Guys, it's about to get really sad, so if you're not ready for this, I guess just click on the video later.
I hate making content like this. I love making people laugh and smile and forget about all their troubles.
I promise I'm not trying to be mean here, but like, this is the kind of stuff this person was posting on the internet. Like, I just don't know if your content has helped anyone off a ledge.
Your pronouns don't equal your gender!
I love making people laugh and smile and forget about all their troubles.
Imagine going up to one of your boys, he's like, "Oh, I'm having a pretty bad day, but it's gotten a lot better ever since I watched a Fuzz99 TikTok."
I love helping people feel comfortable in their bodies and always preach that there's nothing ever wrong with being you and that you should always identify and do the things that make you happy and feel most like you.
I notice how always with these like serious personal style videos, the audio is almost always doused in some sort of white noise. Listen to the background audio. Is someone like making a smoothie in the next room? Tell them to turn the blender off. You're doing an important video.
In September of last year, I was called into HR's office for 1, being reported by the haters, and 2, apparently the freshmen were writing my username on whiteboards, and the school wanted to make sure I wasn't self-promoting my brand, which I wasn't.
This is Gen Alpha at this point. These people that are freshmen in high school now, I'm pretty sure they're Gen Alpha. These people are growing up watching TikTok. They are hypnotized by the For You page, and you just so happen to be like the biggest lol cow on the internet for like a few months. When you become a viral internet meme, that takes precedence over anything else. Like, I know that you're a substitute teacher and you want your students to respect you as a teacher, but if there was literally 30 minutes before your class, a bunch of kids huddled up at a lunch table laughing out loud at a TikTok that roasted you or something at like one of the videos you made, it's gonna be near impossible to, I guess, deprogram these children from seeing you as kind of like a joke. And I do actually sympathize with this person. I mean, they probably had enough money to cruise comfortably for a while off of the internet fame. I mean, I could be dead wrong. Maybe this person never made any money off social media, right? But being a substitute teacher does not pay well, unfortunately, and it would have been more financially savvy for this person to better monetize their online presence than to get a job as a substitute teacher, which makes me think they're doing it out of like the goodness of their heart, like they want to connect with students and help this generation, perhaps because they had a hard time in school or something like that. So I think this is a task taken on out of like the goodness of their heart, so I support that. But at the same time, when you happen to have the internet presence that you have, it's gonna complicate things, which is unfortunate.
The freshmen had a very hard time adjusting to the fact I worked at that school and freaked out on the daily because I worked at school.
Running and screaming, "I'm glad you asked," through the hallways. Oh my god. Okay, come on. You had that coming. Even if they're not making fun of you and they're just, I don't know, looking up to you, they're gonna replicate your behavior, and your behavior online is, this. Middle schoolers and high school kids, they kind of like tend to replicate what they see like on media and stuff, and you know, you're all over the For You page, so they're gonna keep doing it. I'm sure you saw kids hitting the gritty throughout the hallway too. I mean, that's just kind of how it goes. Gen Alpha tends to replicate what they see on social media, so.
and all the other kids at school hated the freshmen and would be like, you guys are stupid. Why are you freaking out? It is just mall. Chill out. Jeez, bro. Freaking freshmen. It was then during this meeting, though, I explained that I was internet famous and that I make LGBTQ educational content on the internet, and that I was targeted towards the end of summer, and that our very own town's manager was aware I was being harassed, as well as the local police department being informed and then later involved. On October 30th, 2023, I received an email from my HR manager asking to sit down to talk about my social media posts. I hadn't posted about working at school on TikTok in a couple of weeks.
Yeah, dude, I'm not gonna lie. It is insane, though, for a teacher to be on social media like this person is. I can't imagine what my school experience would have been like if one of my teachers was on YouTube or TikTok going up to people and being like, gay son or thought daughter. Going up to random people in Walmart, Andrew Tate's son or Belle Delphine daughter. Like I have to go back tomorrow in class and be like, yo, were you in the Walmart asking people Belle Delphine daughter or Andrew Tate's son? That would hinder my learning. That would impede on my growth as a student, okay? Like, I'm sorry. I would just be thinking about the fact that you do street interviews or something.
LGBTQ rights or economic stability?
Why can't you have both?
You need to pick one.
I refuse the question.
You can't refuse the question.
I do.
But you can't.
But I did.
But you need to pick one.
No, I don't.
I just said you did.
So what?
Can you pick one?
No, because they're both doable.
No. Only one.
I don't have to pick one because you can have both.
But the answer is both is not an answer. It's not a valid answer.
I reject your question.
You can't reject it.
I just did.
Can you pick one?
I don't have to.
Why?
Because they're both completely doable.
So LGBTQ rights or economic stability?
Both.
That's not an answer.
Yes, it is.
LGBTQ rights or economic stability?
Both.
Are you trying to troll me?
No.
'Cause I'm just wondering which one you like more.
I like them both.
You can't have both.
Yes, you can.
Not in this question.
Like, that guy shows up to school the next day and is like, all right, class, turn to page 37 of your textbook. Today we're going to be looking at what the urethra does. Like, dude, I just saw you lose a debate to a Redditor. I'm not going to take you seriously, even if you're about to spit some facts about the urethra. Just like in the same way, this person probably is having trouble getting respect from their students because of all the, well, we'll call it bad content they post.
And the only post I could think of was where I let the art club kids face paint my face to practice before a big football game. And I thought for some reason HR wasn't going to be happy. I let them face paint my face and were going to yell at me, but that wasn't the case at all. Considering the comments on this video were so horrible,
Wait, does this person actually sit down and read every single individual comment that's written on their social media posts, on their TikToks? How do you even find time to, like, grade your students if that's what you're doing? Like, Mr. Teacher, I haven't gotten graded for something I submitted 4 months ago. Can I know why? And it's like, well, obviously, because I've been getting more hate comments, okay? I know you guys can see the page. I know you can see the comments. Yeah, these aren't gonna read themselves. Sorry, your test can wait.
the morning of November 2nd, before my meeting with HR, I was notified by email by our substitute booking website that all of my jobs that I had booked out till March were taken away from me and I was released from working them. Immediately, I got a gut-sinking feeling in my stomach and realized something more serious was going on, and I had no clue what it was. When I walked into the meeting, my HR manager asked me if I knew why I was here. I said I had no idea, besides wanting to talk about my social media posts. They then pulled out a yellow folder and slid 2 screenshots of 2 old thirst traps across the table to me.
Yeah, so long story short for this part of the video, they end up defending themselves from these thirst trap allegations by saying, like, oh yeah, I posted these 4 years ago, they're not that serious, and it was back when gay people were using TikTok as a dating app, so I posted like a dating application semi-ironically, and then their advisor or whatever is like, oh yeah, we were gonna fire you today, but, you know, considering that these are old, and, you know, what you gave us for context, we're gonna look back into the situation and see if we decide something else. And then the advisor goes on to apparently say this as to how they even got these screenshots to begin with.
A person sent an email to the school this morning with these videos attached, complaining and wanting you fired.
Knowing the haters too, they probably also threatened the school in some way too.
Wow, I can't believe this.
Yeah, That person went through thousands upon thousands of my videos to find these. In my first 2 years alone, I was putting out 2 to 3 videos every single day of the week, and even on holidays. Those videos are buried. They aren't active videos. They are not being pushed by the algorithm. They are dead. I highly doubt a parent here or student here would have gone through and watched thousands of my videos and spent all those hours watching, trying to find these videos in the hopes of getting me fired.
Alright, you know what? I haven't watched the whole video yet, but I have to be fair to this person. I actually think it is a very slippery slope if you're gonna punish people for content they've posted in the past. Like, if this person's gonna lose their job for something they posted on the internet 4 years ago, is 8 years ago off limit? Is 10 years ago off limit? Like, I have hundreds of videos on this channel, okay? In the off chance that in the next 5 years or so I find myself at a job interview, and I end up getting the job, but 5 months later I'm sitting across the table from an HR rep, and they're like, hey, can you explain these? And they're just like clips of videos that I made when I was 20 years old. I would hope they'd be able to understand that these are old clips and that I've done good work for the company, and this should not force me to be fired, because the reality is every person basically now has an online presence to some extent. Hundreds of millions of people are sharing their thoughts on anything at any time all at once, right? I think there should be some sort of digital amnesty. Like, when you're getting a job, like, I don't feel like employers, when they're doing a background check or whatever, like, I don't know if, like, if they find something you posted on Instagram 10 years ago or 5 years ago, and obviously, you know, it's circumstantial, but in general, like, I feel like it's not good to have your job put at risk for something that you've said in the past online.
Yeah, no, it wasn't a student here or a parent from the school district that submitted these videos to us. It was someone not from our community.
Ah, I see. Great.
You know you represent the school, right? What you post represents the school.
Yeah, but I never mention our school's name or post inappropriate content, and always go by my preferred name and not my government name. And I also am signed to a talent agency and have a talent manager who handles all of my brand deals, and I work hand in hand with big names companies making advertisements for their brands while representing their company as well as my own. And I make a living every day creating content on the internet.
You do?
The rest of the meeting was spent scrolling through my TikTok and my HR manager being pleasantly surprised and pleased with my content, as well as showing them how much I post and how long it takes to even scroll back just to a year ago.
Wow. I cannot believe you make such lovely videos and help people and make an income while you do it. I'm going to take these notes and circle back with the superintendent and the principal, and it'll ultimately be up to them to decide what they want to do with this decision.
However, knowing the decision was up to the superintendent, who is a white cis older male and who I've never met and has no idea who I am or what I look like, and the principal, who is also a white cis male.
What does being white have to do with anything? I understand they're not transgender. You said they're cisgender males, right? So maybe they're not going to understand the content you post involving trans issues or LGBT stuff, and so you're worried they'll be less understanding or sympathetic to what you post. But, like, I don't understand. Like, I see these things sometimes. It's like people in the LGBT community, when they're talking about someone who's not a member of their community, if the person they're talking about is white, they feel some sort of reason to bring that up into the conversation like it's relevant. And also, for the record, this person is saying their HR rep was, like, super understanding and stuff. I'm willing to bet this HR rep was cisgender too. And statistically, it's likely that this person was also white. So this white cis male possibly was super chill to you. So I just think it's a little weird to just go into panic mode because the person who's, like, the exact same gender and race is going to be making the ultimate decision. Now, based on the title of the video, though, I do assume that this person ends up getting fired from their job, presumably by this white cis male. So, like, I don't know. But just to wrap it up, this person is white too. They will always be white, and they have always been white. So, look, I don't know. Like, you're not so different from the person that you think is going to start shit with you.
Who gave me the vibes that they were not the biggest fan of me and never really knew how to interact with me because of who I am, made me feel like the chances of me not getting fired were very low. A few days after the meeting, however, my art teachers all reached out to me and were like, "Where have you been?
Why is there another substitute subbing in the art classes right now? Where are...
I take it all back. Fire this individual immediately. Yeah, you are actually terrifying. Please back up. You look like a Power World final boss. I need you to give me 5 feet.
I reached out to HR to see if a decision had been made yet, and almost immediately my HR manager emailed back and said they had decided on going through with firing me. Out an openly queer teacher at school was hate crimes and then ultimately led to the school firing them. It just filled me with rage.
Alright, so when was this person hate crimed? Can someone fill me in on the details? Because having some random hater mail in old screenshots of your social media to the HR department at your school is not a hate crime. A hate crime is when somebody physically does something to you because they hate what you are, right? They hate that you're black or something. But also, doing a crime to someone you hate is not a hate crime, you understand? There's nuance here, but ultimately this person is being very liberal with the use of the word hate crime. Just based on the title, I thought this video was gonna be a story time of how, like, some insane hater stalked them to their school and, like, assaulted them on campus, and then they got fired for, like, beating up the hater in response or something for you know, being violent in response, which is not what happened, okay? Some guy, some troll sent some screenshots into the HR department, and in tandem with everything else apparently this person was causing at the school, like the disruption that they even admit took place, like all the students were distracted, the school ended up firing them, which, look man, may seem unfair, and ultimately if I was in this person's shoes I would be pissed, but I feel like about 2 weeks into teaching, when you can see that none of these students are taking you seriously, none of them respect you, all of them are basically trolling you for the entire period, I would probably reconsider the entire teaching arrangement from the jump.
And to anyone out there who thinks I'm lying and that I didn't have a positive impact on the school, can take my ex's word for it, who was also queer and understood how important queer representation was and how important my representation was for the queer students, and who texted me this one day when we were together and I had told them I had helped a queer student.
Who cares? I don't care how well you connect with queer students. Like, if ability to relate with queer students was the most sought out trait in a educator, the hiring department would just hire a bunch of James Charleses, okay? And it's weird that this person was like, oh yeah, I was a great teacher and I had a great impact on the community. Yeah, I had a conversation with a gay student. Like, who? Okay, great, thank you.
To my students, I am so sorry that this has happened. I wish I could be at school with you guys every day still. As much as you guys would get pumped up to see me sitting at the teacher's desk and yell, "Yes! We got them all this period! Let's go! Yes! Ah, I'm so happy! Let's go!" And you'd get big smiles on your face and tell me I'm your favorite sub, or you'd ask me for opinions about your art pieces, or just you're having a crummy day and you need someone to talk to.
So the video ends with them basically saying, like, I'm gonna miss my students, I'm gonna miss my classes, and I hope you guys miss me too. Now, ultimately, should this person have been fired from their job as a school teacher? I can't give a definitive yes or no because I don't know the full context, but I'm leaning towards it's probably better that they don't work there anymore. I mean, they even said it themselves when they were talking to the HR guy that, like, yeah, they have a talent agency, they have sponsors and stuff up the ass, so basically they're gonna be financially fine. And the entire video being from Fuzz99's perspective, I think leaves a blind spot. Like, yeah, I don't think these administration people were like totally evil, heartless, or whatever. Ultimately, when you have a social media influencer being a teacher in your class, even if they're a great teacher and even if they connect with the students, there's a level of disruption that is brought to the environment that you maybe just don't want in the classroom environment, in a learning environment. And I also think that it doesn't do a good job conditioning, you know, students to respect their teachers or whatever. When they go on TikTok and their entire For You page is just videos of people roasting this person and comments of them roasting this person, I don't think that it's going to condition students to be nice to their teachers or be respectful to their teachers, and it's going to bleed outside of just this one mole Fuzz99 person. It may bleed into other professors, okay? Now, do I feel bad that this person was fired? Not really. If they care about teaching so much, I'm sure they'll have plenty of references from this school to find another job as a teacher. And also, like I said earlier, this person's definitely not going homeless. They're going to be eating fine. This job being, you know, taken from them is not going to be the end of the world. And I also lose a lot of respect for the person telling their story when they basically lie about some details, like, you were not hate crimed. confirmed. That's insane. In what world is a hate crime like the HR department at your school seeing old screenshots from social media that you posted? And also, I know the hate comments are sometimes just out of pocket, but most of them say like, what are you doing around kids? Why are you a teacher? And ultimately, I would not want my children to have this as their teacher. This is not a good role model. This person is insane in the brain, and they post stuff like this on social media.
Why do I call myself gay if my pronouns are he, they, and I'm dating a girl? Well,